In a recent diversify accommodation and also enhance the service standards for tourism, the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities has issued new licensing home rentals. In this regard, I interview my very dear guest, Ahmed Elalfy, the tourism expert. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to know more about this new regulations and how is it enhancing the services regarding the accommodation for tourists in Egypt.
So let's say to have a plan, you need to have a target. And the government have set a target of reaching 30 million tourists by 2030. And this is a very ambitious target, taking in consideration that we're already having 56 million in 2024.
Yes.
And one of the limitations that limit us is the capacity of the existing hotel rooms and keys. So utilizing the existing infrastructure, we're talking about accommodating around inhabitants or tourists. So there's a big room that needs to be added, and this means we either need to double up the hotels existing in Egypt and the number of keys, or we need to find a creative solution.
And what's the solution?
And the creative solution in this sense is actually making use of the existing stock of non-utilized property, or the properties utilized in Egypt but in the normal rental process. So what's happening right now is the existing properties in the hotspot or prime locations are being utilized and renovated to meet the standard of the hotels, and then they are offered on the online platforms for rentals for tourists. And this would actually cover the gap by a big much. Yes.
Of course. And in this regard, what chances can we witness in this regard regarding the licensing the unutilized units so that we can benefit from them, and also this could be a capacity for benefit from. So how could this be regulated and benefited from in this tourism sector?
There have been a lot of shouts to the government in the last to actually license the holiday rental homes.
Yes.
And luckily, just there have been issued a law, and this law states clear criteria, and it defines a very simple definition for the holiday homes. So it's a new type of hotel accommodation. It should be a minimum of 1 bedroom, a suite, or some basic services provided. So this actually gives room to a very wide range of properties that could join this definition of holiday rental homes.
Okay.
And the criteria is just to ensure that the tourists are accessible to safe and accommodable properties. And part of the criteria, if you'd like, I can take you through it.
Yes, sure.
So to start with the location, it's stated that the location primarily has to be a touristic area or a residential complex in a prime location.
So it's not necessarily to be a touristic zone?
No, not necessarily. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of residential complexes that offer an up-end or a quality of accommodation that would meet the tourist requirement. There is also, in the criteria, there are factors like the entrance of the building. There must be signs showing the name of the facility, the unit number, both in Arabic and in another language.
Yes.
That are considered also. There must be a kitchenette, and this is a very important element, either a kitchenette or an open or closed kitchen, because it allows the accommodators or the tenants to actually stay for a longer period and encourages more inflow of tourists.
Okay. In this regard, will inspections or quality audits are taking place in this process, and how can we ensure the compliance?
So basically, there is a very clear eligibility certificate that needs to be issued. What happens is that the owner of the property, the moderator or the operator, they actually do request an inspection, and the inspection takes in regards all the criteria that must be met. In case of comments, then it needs to be edited and another inspection is done. Once the inspection is done, they're issued a certificate of tourism eligibility. It's valid for 1 year, and then it needs to be renewed per year. So this also gives access on audit on the quality of accommodation provided and service provided to the tourists.
Yes.
There are also 2 main criteria. One regarding the occupational health law set by the Ministry labor. The unit must comply with the health and safety measures, and the owners or the operator need to actually fill the form online on the ministry website of their unit that they are willing to actually set it on the platform of the holiday rental units.
But does this mean that, for example, me as a family, if I have a unit, so that this means I can register this unit and fill it in the form, and as a unit that could be used for tourists as an accommodation place?
Definitely, and this actually brings a big reward to the Egyptians themselves and the properties a lot. And what we realize is that it gives them a sense of stability, because at the end of the day, they are not committed to long-term contracts. So it's per night, and they are a frequent tour of their unit.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, also it's marketed in US dollars. So this, from one point, increases the inflow of the currency and guarantees that it's not affected by any devaluation or any rate exchange.
Yes, and of course this also increases the income of the families who would like to do
Definitely.
Yes, because in this regard, this is a very regulated market. So how scale properties could enter this chances to arena?
Already, there are already online platforms like Booking.com. As long as the unit owner licenses his property throughout the regulations we just mentioned, they can use these platforms to market their units abroad, or they can actually sign a contract with a local operator that is working on a licensed agreement. So it actually could be monitored separately. Or
yes. Also, another aspect that is very important to cover in this interview is the local communities. How do you think this or such regulation impacts the local communities? Do you think is it positive, or what enhancements do you think should be done in this regard?
Well, I really believe that a lot of tourists, while we're dealing with them, are interested in the Egyptian culture. So you can tell that already the hotels are existing in a very prime and strategic locations. It doesn't access to the tourists to know the culture. So I see it in a very positive manner that actually you get to, for the tourists to know the Egyptian culture. Also, people in Egypt are very open to foreigners.
Yeah.
So this gives them the sense of actually feeling that they are offering something to their country, and also all the local stores can benefit from having tourists having access to their own facilities.
So this means that from your expertise, you're witnessing tourists are preferring local places more than fancy zones?
Yes, this is true, because they already have the countries. At the end of the day, a tourist is traveling abroad to see something unique, something different. And we've always heard the word that tourists say has a different essence, it has a different feeling and vibe. And this is mainly from the Egyptians.
Yes.
So as long as they can get to know them more, I'm sure they'll be happier.
Yes. And regarding longer stay tourism, how do you think this could be enhanced, and how beneficial it is for the economy, also when it comes from the tourism sector, because this is one of the main pillars of enhancing the Egyptian economy as a whole?
So if you realize the economy, there is a very big inflation happening. So even the Europeans or the American tourists, they are now considering the budget of their visits. So, and right, as I mentioned to you, the demand in Egypt already, we have a limited supply of units. So now that we're offering these holiday rental homes, they are at lower rates. Hence, the people can stay for longer stays. They can bring the whole family instead of just booking a room. Some of the properties are 3 or 4 bedrooms. So it helps them to assist their. And another benefit is having kitchenette or kitchen, so they don't have really to buy the meals every day just from the normal shops. They can cook their own meals. So it does cause a saving. At the end of the day, they enjoy, but it's within the budget they're setting.
Yes. I think this is an alternative for building new hotels, or the two steps should be done in parallel?
Definitely, at the end of the day, we would say that there are certain clients or tourists that would really only want to be in a hotel. As long as you're offering different types or products of units or apartments, you are already increasing the targeting. So, of course, both have to keep going at the same rate. But in order to achieve the target set by the government, hard to
Yes.
just rely on hotels because it takes time to construct,
Of
design,
course, of course.
and it's much simpler process.
Also nice to have diversity in the accommodation options for tourists, so because everyone
Exactly.
could have his preference.
And this is a very critical thing because some tourists looking for a very wild experience or very out-of-the-box experience, it's hard to take the risk and actually construct a hotel
Yes.
based on creating something new. But the trial on, you know, a certain count of units.
Yes.
So it does actually encourage investors to go with different approach.
Of
I
course.
agree with you.
I would like to thank you very much, Ahmed Elalfy, the tourism expert. Thank you for being here with us,
Thank you
and
so
thank you
much.
for all these useful insights.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.